Hey everyone, happy 2020. We are back with another episode of The Average Uninformed. And what better way to start the year off than with a Michael Bay movie? 6 Underground starring Ryan Reynolds. Grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy. This is interesting. I saw you less than a week ago. This is weird.
Yeah, it keeps happening. I don't like it.
Oh, it's nice though, you know. Holiday. No, I'm just gonna say the Christmas season. And see your friends and family. I'm just sick of people saying holidays. We all know people celebrate majority Christmas here. Who's celebrating Hanukkah? Huh?
The Jewish people.
Exactly. No one.
You know what's funny? Apparently, just saying Jew,
yes,
is kind of racist now.
Yes, it's kind of saying like it's the same thing as like saying Jap.
I guess so. I don't know. It's weird for me though, because all throughout the Bible, it just refers to them as Jews.
Oh yeah, the Bible's super racist.
It's actually not though. Like that's the only racist thing to my knowledge. Like, I mean, yeah, there are like certainly like things in it that are like not culturally appropriate anymore. Like just the way they treated women, but that's just like the way women were treated.
Mm-hmm. This is the way, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it talks about slaves, but not slaves in the way that people think of slaves. Like it's not like the American slaves. Mm-hmm. It was basically, if you didn't have any money, you could sell yourself to somebody. And that was now your room and board was you were their servant.
Did you get paid?
I think you had a living wage, like not like I don't think you could ever eventually buy back your freedom. I'm not sure, but it was just like you worked for them and you got to live there and eat their food.
That's not terrible.
No,
considering the age,
it's not at all what slaves, what everybody thinks of when they think of slaves.
Here I am working my butt off just to have a house that I don't even like.
I don't even live there.
I don't even have food.
So it's just like, they just throw it out there. I mean, granted, it was mostly written by the Jews.
Okay. So it's not racist. It's just people are sensitive now.
Absolutely.
But the Jap is definitely.
Yeah, that's, I think that one is.
It'd be funny if you beep that out.
just keep beeping it out. You don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Got me all excited. I should give this book a read. I've heard so many good things about it. It's
a good book. He dies in the end. Spoiler.
Ah, shit.
Comes back.
I mean, I guess it's sold enough copies, right? It's like it's by an indie author or something like that.
I hate you. To be fair, though, no one has made that joke about the Bible. So I think you're in the clear. It's when everybody else makes that joke and they're like, that's so clever. That's what ticks me off. How was your day, dear?
Left the house this morning at 9. I got home at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I ate, and here I am.
Oh, boy, that is a boring story.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing. Where do you think Jimmy the Lock came from? Like, what's the etymology of Jimmy? Do you think it was like some guy named James who was like really good at picking locks? There's like, I just do a Jimmy the Lock. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like a movie thing.
You think so?
Like, I feel like it's a movie reference from some famous movie, and they're like, oh, yeah.
I think surely it's been around since before film.
Nope.
Pop culture.
Nope.
How long have we had locks?
Like
12 years? All right.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I just like thinking about where phrases came from.
You know what? Have you ever asked anyone rather than think about it? Have you ever considered asking Google?
Who? Exactly. So I actually have a book on the etymology of phrases, but it's clearly like was printed originally in like in the 50s or 60s or something. So there's phrases in it that's like not even phrases we say anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, you ever wondered where this phrase came from? It's like, this is the first time I'm hearing it. So no. You know, Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle went to town. Mm-hmm. You know how he puts a feather in his cap and calls it macaroni?
Yes.
Apparently at the time when that song was written, to be macaroni was to be very fashionable.
Wow. That word did not age well with it.
No. But isn't that funny though? Because like that now it just like puts a total new spin on that little ditty.
It's not.
Because he puts a feather in his cap. Instead of, you think he's calling the feather macaroni, and you're like, that's a weird name to choose for a feather. Also, why are you naming your feather? But no, he's being like, aren't I fashionable?
Yeah, that's terrible. I think that did not age.
All right.
Almost like the word wizard. So, according to Merriam-Webster.com, the first known use of the word Jimmy as a verb was in 1893. Nothing beyond that.
So that's it. We just know when it started.
History and entomology for Jimmy, noun, from the name Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yep. Wow, this is not helpful at all.
That answers one question though. 1893. That was before film.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I think you're wrong.
Not enough to. They weren't widespread enough to be affecting culture yet.
Oh no, they were.
Maybe it was on a zoetrope.
I know exactly what that is.
You know, a zoetrope.
Oh, for sure. The thing that. Oh wait. See, I started this off as a joke, but I think I actually know what that is. That the little carousel thing you spin? You look into the one hole and you see the moving images because it cycles.
Yeah, exactly.
The horse, right?
Yes, a horse is one of the common ones they use it for.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sometimes it works. It just be like that.
History. All right, Victor. Should we talk about some news?
Yes, sir. Let's proceed.
Speaking of film, Victor. I mean, what else do we talk about?
Yeah, that's true. It's terrible.
The moving picture company has closed its doors, at least the Vancouver studio. That's a visual effects studio. They're responsible for such films as Sonic the Hedgehog, Cats, other ones that are like well known. There's a whole list, and each one is like, oh wow, that's a big movie. That's a big
Pikachu, I think, was one of them.
Detective Pikachu, that was another one.
Yeah,
they do lots of great movies, but anyway, they closed their doors just after they finished some movies. Just too bad.
One of them being Sonic.
I think so.
Do you think the reason was Sonic? About the redesign?
The article I read was just kind of like they closed their doors because of tax credits. Like it's an expensive city to work out of, Vancouver.
Yeah.
So they just found tax credits somewhere else. They're just like, hey, this studio is going to be cheaper for us. So, this location will be cheaper for us. So we're going to close this studio. Because they still have several. They have one in Montreal and Toronto and
I see. So
Calgary.
They weren't closing because of like money issues. They're closing because like, this is better for us, so we're going to do it here.
Yeah, but, they fired everyone.
Yeah, but...
I'm sure that some of the higher-ups were like, hey, do you want to move to Edmonton or wherever we're opening our doors?
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's great.
But you can see a mountain. Maybe.
Actually, yeah, I guess you would.
Yeah, Edmonton sucks. Never been. I'm sure it's fine.
It's pretty.
I heard there's lots of potholes. Like car-sized potholes.
That's not a pothole anymore. That's just a crater.
That's a ravine.
Oh, well, that's too bad, but kind of, at least it's not like, oh, this is Sonic's fault. This is why we don't listen to the audience and design things the way they want it.
Well, it's too bad because like there's a guy who commented on it who worked at the studio and was affected by the firing. And he was saying that like it sucks because we just spent so long trying to finish. He didn't name names, but I imagine it was probably Cats and or Sonic that they were trying to finish. And they said they were working like 17 plus hour days.
Ugh.
And not every day, but like that would be something. And like if they couldn't work past 8 hours, they had to give an excuse. And if they couldn't come on the weekend, they had to give a reason why they couldn't.
Because I have a life, bro.
Yeah, because it's slave labor. But no.
Because this movie sucks anyway. Who wants to watch Cats?
Oh. But yeah, that kind of sucks. And because that's not the first time I've heard that story. I mean, there's no union for animators, so tend to get screwed over a lot.
How come there is no union? As an animator, do you know why? I don't actually know how unions work.
I don't understand it either. No, I know that unions, like you get like certain rights and stuff and they can't force you to work so many hours or whatever. I think it's just easier for everyone, especially because depending on the studio, you can either get a salary wage or you can get paid by The second.
The second that you generate.
Yes, the second. Sorry, yeah,
Okay.
the second that you generate, not like how many seconds you're working.
I was like, that just seems like the better deal.
But that can kind of bite you in the butt, because if you're like real slow, then like you can work like more than 40 hours and
still get paid less than
the person who's, you know, working the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. So it's like always up to you to how much you're getting done. And so that does add incentive for people to like keep trying to churn out as much stuff as possible, mm-hmm. instead of like going back and finessing stuff and making it look extra nice. So there's benefits and cons to either. I prefer salary.
Salary's nice. Seems like less. I mean, you have a cap, but
you have deadlines and
yeah, but like less worry. You know, do it as you go.
Yeah. But whatever. I don't really know why animators don't have a union. Imagine it would really, I think it would like destroy the animation industry for a little while. Like that would be a huge hurdle to get over.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, wouldn't that bring in like standards, working rights?
Yeah.
Reasonable work hours?
Yeah. It would really, like you would find, I don't know if there's a union. I should say this. I don't know if there's a union in the States, and I don't know if there are unions at all, but I know that like I'm not a part of a union, and I know the studios that I've worked for have not been part of union, like don't use unions. And clearly Moving Picture Company did not use unions, or it would be illegal for them to have people working 17-hour days.
Likely.
Yeah. Still kind of is, but you know, yeah, it's too bad that they closed. I'm more concerned about the animators than the company lining their pockets or saving money or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that works out better for them in the future. The animators, I mean, find someone better. I don't know.
I mean, the same thing happened. Like, what was that Seth Rogen animated movie?
Oh, Sausage Party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that one was rough.
Yeah, the animators get screwed on that one too, where they were working like overtime and it was like unpaid, and they never really got paid for that. It wasn't until I think it was on a news website for animation where someone like the article was about Sausage Party. Like it was an interview with a director. Mm-hmm. And then it was like just all the comments from animators who worked on it and been like, I was working on this and all of my shots are in the trailer, but when you guys tried to make me work overtime, I said I wasn't going to, so you fired me and I didn't get paid. And
oh shit.
And so there's that. And then there was like just story after story of like, yeah, I stayed on, but yeah, I never got paid for overtime and they made us do overtime. And like, so it was just awful.
Why'd you get an animation again?
Because it's real fun.
Okay.
I don't know. I work for a really good company who actually likes its employees.
Oh, well, that's different.
And doesn't treat them like meat. You know, so that's a benefit.
I guess they're not all the same then.
Did you see that Kumail Nanjiani is jacked now?
I remember seeing like videos of him working out, but like
you should see. He posted what is it called? A thirst picture. This is the news, by the way. There's no news this week.
Holy shit!
Right?
Damn, got like an 8-pack. His abs are doing like the same thing his eyebrows doing. It's like cocking the eyebrows. He's up for a movie role, isn't he? What is he doing?
He's in Eternals.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, not even as the main character, but he's just like, you know what? I'm going to get jacked for that. I can't do his accent. I shouldn't have tried.
I'm going to get like screen time shirtless, right? No, but you're going to wear this giant robe for the entire movie.
So, apparently in his post, it was on Instagram, he said he's been working out for a year straight.
I can do that.
But he said, I could not do this without Disney paying for it.
Dang it, I need Disney.
I need that Disney money. I don't think I could do it even with Disney money. I just don't have the fortitude. I mean, if I had nothing to do all day, then yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like, I got stuff to do. I can't work for 4 hours, work out for 4 hours a day. Or
That'd
more.
be fun, actually. I could see me enjoying that.
Yeah, because you're weird. Something's wrong with your brain.
I used to hate it, but like once you get past a certain point, you start seeing those results, and it's like, oh, you know what? This is fun. This is enjoyable.
More fun to eat gravy.
I mean, I'm not denying that, but But you're like more fun to eat gravy. Like you're setting the bar a little bit too low there. That's like saying it's way more fun to go out and like, yeah, you know what? I don't even know.
All right.
Because like eating gravy, that's super fun. There's not much that can beat that. Like a slingshot and a basket full of rotten eggs.
What?
That's not fun to you? All right.
No.
Okay, weird. See the contrast between us here?
All right. Well, Victor, did you see the Bill and Ted Face the Music images that came out today?
Yeah. Keanu Reeves looks weird without a beard. I don't like it.
He looks really old, right? He looks his age.
Yeah.
It's like he has a young man's eyes and hair. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that's what your beard was covering up.
I mean, I think it's just the hair. I can't imagine him with like short hair again. Like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, that is weird to think about. Because he just has kind of like he just has like what is he, like 50 now? Like he just has that aged, like puffy look, right?
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that like chiseled jaw anymore.
No. I don't know why they didn't let him just have a beard.
Because then that's John Wick.
But I just mean like I know, like Ted never had a beard in the other movies. Actually, you know what? He did. At the end of the second movie, they go forward in time to learn how to play instruments. And when he comes back, he has this sweet goatee. And Bill has this ZZ Top beard.
Of course. Is that Voldemort in that? Who is that?
Oh, that's Death.
Ugh.
They're friends with Death.
That makes sense.
He's played by William Sadler, who you would know from Die Hard 2.
Oh.
Or no, you know what? He played the president in Iron Man 3.
Wait, that was him?
Yeah.
Really? Huh. Okay, that's not what I expected. He's really old looking now.
Yeah. Well, I don't. If Keanu is 50, like he's got to be closer to 70.
Yeah. Looks like death.
Yeah, you're not really too familiar with Bill and Ted, right?
No, I've watched them once with you, and
just the first one, right? Like you
probably watched the second one,
because the second one is not at all like the first one, which is what makes me excited about the third one, because it's the same writers. Like all three movies are all written by the same guys, and so this one,
that's kind of cool.
I'm really hoping that they do what they did with the first sequel. And just go in a completely different direction and not just do the same movie over again.
That'd be cool. How long did we wait in between the Rambo sequels? Like between like the 90s and the last one, most recent ones?
The Rambo 3 came out, it was still in the 80s because in Rambo 3, he helps the Iraqis fight the Russians. So that was in the 80s. I think that's what Desert Storm ended up being about. So that wasn't until the late 80s. So that was Rambo 3. And then Rambo 4 came out
2005?
That's probably a good guess. So at least 15 years.
So not nearly as long.
No. I want to say Rambo 3 was like 87 or something, but maybe 88. It's definitely before the Berlin Wall came down.
Oh, was that referenced in the movie?
No, but I mean, just the fact that Russians were evil.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Were evil?
Yeah, they've come back around.
That blanket behind you, is that pattern on there? Is that
It's like a bug pattern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looked from this angle. It looked like that like kids play mat with like the houses and the roads.
Oh,
that's what it kind of looked like. You should do that. You should replace the carpet in this basement with that.
I'm not allowed to. This isn't my house, Victor.
Yeah, but like it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Dude, I'm just praying that they don't figure out that I'm living here. Can I talk to you about Facebook videos?
Oh, no.
I'm not actually complaining per se. Have you ever seen those do-it-yourself videos on Facebook? Where they're like, here's an easy craft.
Or is it a life hack?
Or a life hack.
I hate this.
And it like is way harder. Or like not even way hard, but it's just like way more complicated than actually just going and buying the thing that you need. It's like, here's a light you can make out of a pop bottle. All
you
this
clean the
stuff.
bottle, spraying the inside, decorating it, hanging up, wiring the electrical. Yeah, this is better.
Right? Because like half of them, they're like, pull out the soldering gun. And I'm like, this isn't a do-it-yourself anymore.
I mean, yeah, soldering's not hard. It's just...
I've never learned how to solder.
Oh, it's super easy.
I'm sure it is, but I don't have a soldering gun. I can't do it myself anymore.
That's fair.
Or they're like, basically what you have to do is a little bit of circuitry. And you're like, what?
Get a breadboard, get some circuits, and you just start soldering this shit in.
Super easy.
And then you load up Ubuntu or whatever program OS you want, and then you just start programming it. It's easy.
Or they're like, so we're going to do this cool experiment. It's going to help you clean your windows. And they're just like, take hydrogen peroxide, take liquid mercury. And you're like, where the heck am I going to get that? Like, why don't I just buy some bleach or something? I don't know. Victor, there was a trailer for Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah, week. That's the other one I was looking for.
Yeah. How did you feel about it?
Super jazzed about this movie.
You're a pretty big Top Gun fan, right?
Yes and no.
Mainly just a soundtrack?
Soundtrack, yes. I really like the movie, but like it's been so long since I've seen it, I kind of forget a lot of it. This is one of those movies I've watched on repeat before. It's like, why not? The VCR auto rewinds. So, just hit play again and it starts. It's great. How'd you feel about it?
About Top Gun Maverick or Top Gun?
Top Gun Maverick. You pumped at all?
I mean, I'm always pumped for a Tom Cruise movie, but I was just watching it and I was like, what is this movie about? Like he's coming back to flight school, but
no, he's the master.
What's the conflict?
No longer the apprentice. And
he's going to be Top Gun. Because did he not end up being Top Gun? Because didn't Iceman? Because he washed out because Goose bit it hard on the canopy of their jet, right?
The trailer almost show like he's trying to teach these students, but he's stuck in the old ways and he's doing things that are wrong and screwing things up. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like he's just teaching poorly in this.
I think
causes accidents.
I think unorthodox is probably the best word for it. Like he does like the flybys, or what do they call it? What do they call it? Buzzing the tower. He does that over a gas station or something and like rips the roof off the gas station. It really looks like they're flying jets, and knowing Tom Cruise, they probably are.
That'd be cool.
It's like just the way you can almost see the G's on their face, like as they're like taking off of the aircraft carrier.
It's gonna have a really like powerful fan in front of them,
I suppose. But
cheeks are flat.
It's Tom Cruise. Of course, he's flying a jet.
Do you think that actually makes the movie better?
Sometimes.
I find the helicopter kind of cool, but like, well, actually, he did some pretty crazy stuff in that movie.
Are you talking about
Mission Impossible?
Fallout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when we reviewed Fallout. It's like one of those things where you can create the kind of stuff they were doing with CGI so well now that if you didn't know that it was Tom Cruise flying it, you'd just think he was sitting in a cockpit on a blue screen, or green screen, or whatever.
Because like now you're limited to what your actor can do, not necessarily what you can come up with, and obviously within reason, CGI can do.
Well, I mean, and that's only for the shots where their face is right there, right? Like otherwise, you can just get stunt flyers, to do it. Like
I mean, you're in a jet, you're wearing a mask, most likely.
You could recognize Tom Cruise's eyes in high def.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
His face obscured.
That's very little CG to deal with, though.
I mean, the insurance is probably really expensive and would end up paying more for insurance than CGI. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is color correction. Gives the CGI artists a break, which is too bad because I heard that there's a whole bunch of visual effects artists out of work.
How convenient. It's like they planned this through.
Yeah, not at all, because they're not going to get any work.
Planned it all out. Knew it was coming.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't know. I know we just raved about Bill and Ted. and Ghostbusters being like these 20-year sequels.
Mm-hmm.
They're not always good though. And I would be very surprised if all 3 of the 20-year sequels we're getting this summer are good.
Nah, they all look good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
for sure.
I mean, Tom Cruise is like one of those, I've heard him described as pizza, where I always enjoy him.
Even when it's bad pizza, it's good Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm sure I'll enjoy him in it at the very least.
They kind of say that about Ryan Reynolds as well.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, Victor. In fact, let's talk about that. Shall we move on to the movie of this week?
Heck yeah.
Let's do it.
The most Michael Bay movie, 6 Underground, starring Ryan Reynolds and some other people that I don't remember.
Yeah, so this movie is on Netflix. It went straight to Netflix.
Mm-hmm. As it should have.
Victor, I hated this movie.
Really?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Victor, I hated this movie. I take it from your surprise, you really loved it?
I didn't love it. I was entertained the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a good movie.
I was ticked for most of it.
Really? That bad, eh?
Yeah, it's probably the worst movie I've seen this year.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to like review the movies I've seen this year, but it's probably the worst.
Of all the movies we've reviewed this year, this is the worst for you?
I mean, Golden Child was pretty bad.
Yeah, Golden Child is the first one I thought of.
I wasn't mad while watching Golden Child, though.
Oh, I was.
Anyway, Victor, do you want to explain the plot of this movie?
Ryan Reynolds has a crew of 6, and his goal is to rid the world of evil people. But they are ghosts. They are dead to the world. No records of them.
Because they've all faked their deaths.
Mm-hmm. Very convenient. Very helpful. Very handy.
Well, it's not convenient. That's how you get into the group. Like
No,
Ryan Reynolds
convenient.
faked his death, and then as he recruits them, he's like, "Okay, we're going to fake your death."
Or he fakes their death without them knowing. Actually, no, they definitely do. Anyways, there's a big old dictator that they're trying to take down who has a good brother.
Uh-huh.
So they're trying to...
Who loves democracy, Victor?
So they want to rescue the good brother, kill the bad brother, and replace him with the good brother so that he can do good and save his people.
It's called a coup.
Why is that? And it's spelled C-O-U-P.
It's French, Victor.
Yeah, it's ruining me. And they actually address that line.
Yeah, it's a coup d'etat.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's French. That's what
It's not.
Okay. I don't know what the actual meaning is.
Sounds like it was
French.
Made up by someone who didn't understand how letters worked and sounded.
Okay. But were you aware of what a coup was before this movie?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to make fun of them explaining it. But I guess some of the audience doesn't know what a coup is. Because they over-explained everything in this movie. They went over what their plan was 3 times.
Oh, you counted
In 3 different scenes.
I lost track.
Yeah.
Did you keep track of how many times Ryan Reynolds
said the F word? No, because I would have lost count in the first 5 minutes.
No, like how many times like he had to explain that because they are ghosts, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it?
That was a lot.
Man, this movie, I was just ticked off. So this movie starts off with this giant car chase through Italy. Dave Franco is driving.
Mm-hmm. Didn't like him.
Didn't like him. No, I didn't like him either.
Yeah,
I didn't like anyone in this movie except for the parkour guy.
Number 4, yeah.
And which is funny. I guess it's ironic because I hate parkour guys. I hate when they use like that's the guy's skill in movies. I hate that.
So I kind of wrote down. This is one of those movies that like I don't really know how to write notes for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wrote down my thoughts.
All right.
My first note: I'm 47 minutes and 32 seconds in. What's the plan? What's going on? There's car chases, slow motion, girls, pretty places, girls in slow motion doing sexy stuff in pretty places.
That's a Michael Bay movie.
There's a dude that does just parkour.
Okay, so let's not deviate from the car chase because it's like 25 minutes long.
Oh, it's crazy.
I counted. There are 6 different needle drops in the car chase. So a needle drop is when they just start playing a different music track.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
6 different ones.
If
it's any more than 2, your car chase is too long.
Is that a rule?
In my opinion. How did I get bored during a car chase, Victor?
I wasn't quite sure what was going on most of the time.
Yeah, and that's not just in that car chase. Like it's this thing is like hacked and slashed in the editing room. There's an entire scene between the sniper and Ryan Reynolds. Was it 1 and 7? Their names?
7 was the driver.
No, that was 6.
6. Oh,
7 was the new guy, the sniper.
Oh, yeah.
They have an entire conversation that's 80 yard, which means additional dialogue recording. Mm-hmm. You can tell because every time one of them is talking, their face is not on screen. So it's just them like in the cockpit and they're moving back and forth and you get someone reacting to the other person talking and then they cut and then the person who was just reacting starts talking, or it'd be a shot and his head is like facing the other direction. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh,
this movie's a mess.
This is a bad movie.
But you know what? This is also one of those movies that's just really entertaining.
No,
if you
it's not.
If you just let your mind go.
I hate that argument. I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. That like, oh yeah, you just have to turn off your brain. No, I don't want to turn off my brain. Like I like to think. I like when I'm watching movies, I like to think about what I'm seeing and not just consuming. You know, I like a good hearty meal. I don't just like shoving junk in my face. That's not true, but for my brain, I don't like just shoving junk in there. I like thinking about processing what I'm seeing.
I mean, you can do that, but I think if you start thinking about like, because there's times in this movie where characters just teleport. Mm-hmm. There are things that happen off screen that shouldn't happen off screen. Mm-hmm. There's a section where number 4 is in a pool, and then 2 shots later, he is out of a pool, completely dry, doing something else.
Oh, it happens more than once too. It happens at the end of the movie as well.
Oh yeah.
They all go in the water and they come back out and they're completely dry. And then they go in the belly of the ship and they come out 2 minutes later and it's midnight. They went in during the day.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they're in a helicopter.
Yep.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This movie was not funny. They tried very hard to be funny at numerous occasions.
You know, for a Ryan Reynolds movie, this is the least amount of Ryan Reynolds one-liners.
Well, that's okay. This is what I wrote down for jokes. Jokes are ruined either by letting them go on for too long or someone comments on them and it ruins the joke. Like, so for example, there's a part in it where the dictator's brother is like, I don't think I want to do this. And Ryan Reynolds turns around and quotes the beginning of Lose Yourself by Eminem to him.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, it's a funny joke. But then the guy with him is just like, did you just quote Eminem? He's like, I don't think that's Eminem. Or like,
yeah,
it ruins it. It would have been funnier if he just quoted it and the guy goes, I have goosebumps. I will do what you're asking me to do. like that's funny. Or there was one point when they said, when Dave Franco dies, spoilers, by the way, when number 6 dies, he gets a forklift through the neck.
Yeah, that was jarring, unexpected.
Yeah. Why? Maybe Dave Franco couldn't be in it for the entire movie.
I mean, they don't really need a driver for the next, I want to say, act of the movie.
You know what's weird is the driver dies and they're like, oh, that's too bad. Let's get a sniper.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
They didn't even replace him. Anyway, so the scene where they're like going to throw his body in the ocean. Mm-hmm. And they're like, does anyone know if he had family? And he's like, I think we're his family. And then Ryan Reynolds is like, we're not the Cleavers, you know, Leave It to Beaver. And then he just starts naming off actors and of like who was in the show, who produced it. And like, it was funny when you just referenced Leave It to Beaver. Like, stop talking.
Yeah. The music choices in this was very like, it's like I picked the music from when I was in high school.
I didn't mind the music.
Oh, it was good. I enjoyed it, but like not subtle at all.
No. And they comment on it. Remember at the end when they play the Revolution video and they got that song, what was it? Oh. I'm not going to take it anymore or something like that. I can't remember what the song's called.
Something like that. And he's like, did you choose this music?
And he's just like, you're welcome. Isn't this song great? Like, I guess.
Did this movie remind you of Transformers? Like certain shots remind you of Transformers, but like before they CG'd in Transformers?
I mean, it's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I will give Michael Bay one thing. He like Zack Snyder can create a very beautiful shot. Sometimes he needs to learn how to like let the camera actually sit still. He's always panning or zooming in or whatever. Sometimes he needs to learn how to just put it on a tripod. But yeah, he's got very beautiful shots otherwise.
Also going back to that first part of the movie, there's a lot of people getting hit by cars and they show it. A lot.
Yeah.
And like, that's honestly something I haven't seen before. So
kudos.
Yeah, I guess.
I've seen it in video games, I guess.
But like,
I've been the person
not like
hitting the ragdolls in video games before.
But like, not that detail, you know? Like, you don't get that. Like, I don't know, there's some guy, he gets dragged, he gets shot, he falls out of the car window, and then he gets plowed into like the side of like a bulldozer. But they linger on him hitting that bulldozer for like a second. When usually it's just like, oh, he hits the bulldozer, immediately cut to back to the action.
Yeah.
Just kind of like show it happened.
Yeah, the violence was really like, they lingered on a lot of stuff. Like, I watched this with my wife, and you know, at the end when they have the dictator in the helicopter, and they're going to give him back to the people, and let the people decide what to do with him.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, I feel like they've already decided at that point. But
yeah, I think they've reached a consensus. Their first democratic vote. And so anyway, they push him out of the helicopter, and both my wife and I were just like, and cut there. Like, that's all you need is just him falling in slow motion towards the people, or he hits the ground or whatever, and you just see the mob go over him. Yeah. But no, that it's like another like minute and a half of him running in slow motion while people are just beating on him and like throwing bottles and like hitting him with machetes and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's one dude that lands like one right into his chest, and I was like, oh shit.
And it's just
they
like,
keep going. They keep going.
And it's like, I don't need to see this. Like, I don't know. It kind of ruins Turkestan a little bit for me, because it, like, you know what I mean? Like, these people have been like, absolutely that is what would happen.
Yeah.
But like, you want to think of them as like, they're free now. They're free to be good people.
You like put them on, they step up a little bit.
Yeah.
They're the bigger man now.
But no, they're just rats in a,
like,
cage.
In Iron Man 1, he goes back to the war zone and he brings one of the big terrorist guys and leaves him to the people, and he just flies off.
Yeah.
And it just cuts there.
Yeah.
That probably would have been the more tasteful way to do it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the difference between rated R and PG-13 and Jon Favreau and Michael Bay.
I guess the movie was rated R. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, with everything on it, makes sense.
Well, do you want to talk about the characters? Let's talk about all 6 of them.
7.
Okay. Well, I think we talked a little bit about Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yeah. Number 1, he's a rich billionaire.
Tech genius.
He apparently invented
magnets.
Think about magnets. All the examples we have in modern day magnets apparently stemmed from his creation.
I guess so. And cell phones too.
Yeah.
And somehow he's not famous.
Well, it's kind of like the same. It's kind of like the guy who made GIFs.
Okay.
It's not really well known.
I guess everywhere. Yeah. So someone invented Velcro, right?
Yeah. Fucking Velcro. It's ruined so many of my clothes.
It's ruined so many lives, Victor.
Yeah. You don't really learn much about him.
Well, okay.
He has a family you find out at the end,
which is awful.
Yeah, he just left that.
For what reason? To get what? Okay.
Maybe he just couldn't resist, doing good. He's the good guy.
Okay, that reminds me. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. Like, the editing, like they keep flashing back to things, and sometimes they don't tell you that they're flashing back. And so the number one example is they flash back to one's origin. And he's still a tech billionaire, and he goes to a hospital camp in Turkestan. And while he's there, they're chemically gassed. He's an awful guy. Like, he's just there for a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, that's his I don't know what to call it, but that's his moment where his eyes are opened and he sees the evil in the world and he has the power to do something.
Yeah. He's running around I think they like gassed the town or something like that.
Yeah. And so he's running around seeing kids suffocate to death.
But he's also
stuff.
like, he's running masks around to people and stuff. So he's actually doing good. He's shown doing good and not just like, told about it, which I thought worked fairly well.
But I will say though, when that scene started, I thought we were still in the present. I thought he was doing like a character, like this is his, like he's there to get intel. And
that's what I thought too.
And then it's like, oh, this is getting like, oh, this is getting very serious. Like, and it's getting kind of emotional. And then it just kind of cuts forward and it's like, okay. This is his origin story. Oh, okay. So we flash back at some point.
Yeah.
So that was confusing, but so he's the only one who really has something of a character.
You get an origin for a few of the other characters too, but like 4, you get one for 7 because he's the new guy.
The CIA spook, but again, they don't really say anything about her. It's just like
you just shown like clips. It's almost like a flashback, but like not enough to give you any context, really.
Yeah, it's like one of those scenes where it would be like, in another movie, it would be part of a montage while they're explaining who each character is. Like it would be like, and that's number 2. She's a CIA spook. And then it just cut to her punching a guy. Right. And then cut back. Like that's 3. And he's a hitman.
Yeah. I like 3.
I didn't like him.
No.
Is that was 3, the hitman?
I think it was 3
or 5 or 4. No,
4 was the parkour guy.
Right. And 5 was the doctor who didn't have any lines, basically. She was just there.
I completely forgot about her.
You know why she was there? Because 5 Underground doesn't sound good.
I mean, they could just not kill Dave Franco,
I was thinking about it though, and I was like, I wonder like what this character was on the page before Ryan Reynolds got to it. Because it's a very Ryan Reynolds character, but like it's a lot of him ad-libbing stuff, but I don't think that was written on the page. Like, I think that's just Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, trying to elevate it. I didn't really like Ryan Reynolds' character. He was kind of like, he was the charming a-hole, but not likable, if that's possible.
It's almost like he didn't get enough screen time where he was, or get enough opportunities to be lovable. He was kind of like, hey, I'm kind of a dick right now, but I'm also kind of lovable. But like the camera cuts away before he gets to that point.
Yeah. Because like, he's just kind of a dick throughout.
Because he's all about the mission, right?
Yeah. And like, I mean, that's his arc at the end, is that he actually goes back for 4. By the way, everyone loves 4. They keep ruining the mission to save his life. It happens twice in the movie.
What did he even do in that last part on the skyscraper?
What did he?
Well, actually, what did he even do on the yacht?
I don't know.
He climbed up.
He climbs in, and he's like, "Okay, I'm here."
And then you never see him until like the last end of the.
Well, I know in Hong Kong in the penthouse, it was his job to extract the guy.
Right. Yeah, he did that. That makes sense. Okay, I remember that now.
But on the yacht, I don't know what he was doing. Oh no, he goes in first to cut off the comms and he turns off the engines or sabotages the anchors or something like that.
Gotcha. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure that was number 2 that did the radio comm stuff.
He did like a flip up to the radio tower on top of the yacht and cut it.
Oh wow, this movie has, I brain turned off too much at this point.
So that was 1's arc, was that he goes back to save him. But I feel like they could have done that moment better as well. Cause once again, 4 is in a fist fight that he can't win. And he's like losing terribly. And then Ryan Reynolds is like, I'm going back for 4. And then like for the next 2 minutes, you see him struggling to get back to 4.
Yeah. Trying to figure out where he is.
And it's like, that would have been so much more effective if like,
you didn't see that?
Yeah, if like 4 was just like struggling to live and all of a sudden the guy trying to kill him just gets shot and you're like, he looks up and it's Ryan Reynolds and he's like, oh, you broke your rule. That would have been a better moment, but whatever. This movie sucks. Fix it. Why would I expect anything from it?
True. Yeah, it makes me wonder though, because like you and I aren't professional critics.
No.
We just like movies.
No. Yeah.
So like, how do things like this get past?
Well, it's really hard to make a movie, Victor.
No, but like, it's hard to, I don't know. You do a lot, like you make decisions for a company, but like there's always someone there to kind of be like, yeah, maybe that's not a good choice. Maybe you should do it this way instead, you know?
Well, and that's the thing is though, that you and I have very similar tastes. So when you and I watch a movie, for the most part, we're going to pick out the same things and be like, I didn't like that. I did like that.
And then it's like, oh, is it a coincidence we both don't like it? Or just like,
does it not
actually
work?
A flaw?
Yeah. So there is that aspect of it. And it's also like, there's a series of compromises that you make when you're making a film, and you never know. Someone wrote that moment and they're like, oh, but I really like it. I really like what Ryan says. Like the third time he says, where are you, buddy? You know, like maybe the editor really liked the scene, or maybe Michael Bay really liked the scene.
Guys, if we don't keep Ryan Reynolds running around the ship for 2 minutes, we're not going to pass a 2-hour mark. We have to pass a 2-hour mark.
That's the thing. This movie was only 2 hours long, and it's the second most expensive Netflix movie ever. $175 million.
Oh, Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
I bet you anything, majority of that budget went into that first 25 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. The amount of stuff they destroyed.
Oh, man. I would have loved to be in Italy when they shot that film.
It would have been over a month.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Imagine
probably not. They probably would have cut off your street and you're like, now I have to go around because you're Italian then.
Yeah, I guess I would be. They did actually when I was there, they did that for Jersey Shore. They shot a few episodes there.
While you were in Italy?
Yeah. I didn't tell you?
No.
Yeah, they blocked off the road to my apartment.
For like Snooki and The Situation?
What? What?
They're characters from Jersey Shore.
Was that actually his name, The Situation?
Yeah, because The Situation was his abs.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Why weren't they on the Jersey Shore?
Because this is the international edition. Yeah. They were shooting. I don't know. I had no idea what it was. So like I stood and watched for a bit because I was curious.
Yeah.
I might be in one of the shots actually. Probably not.
No.
But some dude was walking out of a store, but he was like, I think the shot was him throwing a bag of potatoes over his like shoulder to show how awesome and powerful he is.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to strut down the street past everyone. They did that shot. I think it was like 4 times I saw, and I was like, "This is stupid. I'm out."
Reality TV.
Reality TV
in 4 takes.
Yeah, it was probably more. But yeah, imagine just like walking down the street, see a car chase happening, or like a shot of a car chase in the distance. It'd be kind of cool.
Apparently, someone spotted Ryan Reynolds did a social media post promoting the movie. And the joke is that he's talking about what he loves about working on 6 Underground, but you can't hear him because there's a giant car chase shot being filmed behind him.
Yeah.
And so someone posted, they found the actual shot that they filmed it, and you can see like Ryan Reynolds is like way in the background, but you can see him in the background.
Yeah, because the background, the wall that Ryan is leaning against is red. And in that car chase, you see like a giant red wall, but with someone standing in front of it. So like,
yeah,
I mean, odds are like you can't confirm, but like odds are that is the shot.
It is the same stunt too, so it's like probably him. It's pretty funny. But where were we? 2 and 3. They just suddenly start hooking up because we needed another sex scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of sex scenes in this.
Yeah, it just like that's what I mean by this movie feels like it should have came out like 12 years ago. Because it's like Michael Bay has a style that was very 90s, like very extreme explosions, boys will be boys, America, shooting some guns.
Yeah.
Let's show them boobies and butts. That's what we care about. And he hasn't really evolved with the times.
What are you talking about? There's so much CG now.
You seen those ragdoll effects? The pedestrians getting hit by cars. No, like he still has the same style.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's as effective. While like watching a movie from the 90s, you're like, cool, those characters are hooking up. Like this one, it's just like, what? Why? And so now they're doing an exposition scene while she's just sitting there in her lingerie, because of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird that they hooked up with each other, because 3, he had a lot of character, and she did not.
She was like the stone cold assassin.
But it's like, why? Like you never get anything from her.
Oh, yeah,
so you're
no
like,
hint.
why do you like him? Like he's an idiot. You call him that several times throughout the movie, and I don't get it. Like it didn't never seem to me like it was like you're an idiot, but I love you. But it's like, no, you need to smarten up or I'm going to shoot you in the face.
I think she says that at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 2, you don't really get a background. You get like one scene, like you mentioned. She's taking down some dude, I think. Is that it?
It was the brother.
Oh.
The dictator's brother. The democracy-loving brother.
Number 3 doesn't really get a flashback, but you see a scene with him and his mother, who's in like an old...
He does get a flashback. Remember, he kills a guy. He falls into the pool.
Oh, and like his daughter comes out and he's like...
What is your mom? And she's like, I don't have a mom. He's like...
I'm gonna go fake kill myself now. 4, he has an origin story. He's stealing jewelry from some place, falls to his death, wakes up in almost like a Saw situation with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. What was the point of that scene?
Just like, are you scared? You want to get shot in the face? It's a fake gun. Welcome to the team.
And he just laughs at him. And he's like, "That you should have seen your face. That was hilarious." What?
Yeah, it can't all make sense, Josh. See, if everything made sense in this movie, then you would just take that for granted. Some things have to not make sense, so you appreciate when things do make sense.
Don't try and just don't.
This could easily be.
Just don't.
I understood that reference. 5, the doctor.
No
I don't remember
explanation.
anything.
She was just there.
Yeah.
They
Dave
needed
Franco.
another hot girl.
Number 6. Nope, nothing.
No, he was annoying, and I like Dave Franco.
Same.
I like it. Like he's charming enough. I've seen him play annoying characters, and I've still loved them.
Right?
This one, he's just annoying.
Plus, his acting just felt really. Although this was filmed 2016. Maybe
I
this
have
was
no
before
idea.
he like hit his stride. Because his acting here was kind of rough.
All right.
Anyways, and then 7, our sniper friend, who was to replace the driver.
Yes.
He got a kind of a cool background, I guess. He's part of a squad. His team blows up because it
was something like he spotted. There was a truck coming down, and it was a UN truck, but the logo was backwards. And he was like, "Yo, the logo's backwards. I don't think that's a UN truck." And they're like, "Well, don't take the shot. We're not here to shoot people." And he's like, "But they're bad." And then that blows up and kills his entire team.
Okay, what kind of a terrorist does like, oh, let's go in disguise as a UN truck. But wait, we don't technically have the rights to that logo, so change it a little bit so it's different.
I mean, I didn't turn off my brain, so I thought these guys only speak Farsi or Urdu or whatever. So they don't have the same alphabet as us. So it would be like if you put Russian up, you wouldn't have no idea whether it's backwards or not.
No, but if I'm copying an existing logo.
Yeah, but if you just got like someone printed it out for you, like put this on the top of the truck, and you're just like, flip it over, and you're like, which side is the right way? Like, I don't know.
Okay, applied upside down. I thought you were saying. I clearly don't remember that scene because from my perspective, I was like,
oh, this is all the extra thinking I've done to explain why their logo is backwards. So his origin was that, and then so he wanted to kill himself, and then Ryan Reynolds was like, "Don't do it." Actually, no, he said something very confusing.
What?
Ryan Reynolds shows up at his house as this guy is like thinking about committing suicide.
Yeah.
And so he was all upset because he wanted to pull the trigger on that UN truck, but his authorities wouldn't let him. His superiors wouldn't. And so anyway, Ryan Reynolds is like, "Hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you." And he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Someone who would have let you pull that trigger." You mean the one he's got against his head? Or the... The sniper one. Oh, the sniper one.
Oh, I 100% thought he was talking about the gun to his head.
No, he meant the.
Well, yeah, I was very confused by it. I was like, you know what? My brain's turned off. I'm not going to think about it.
Anyway, that leads to watching his own funeral, where, again, there's just like weird jokes. Like, it's just Michael Bay does not understand tone. So there's like a serious scene going on, and then they have like a comedic actor do it, 2 minutes at the Improv. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, this is supposed to be like a weird scene where he's watching his own funeral, and now you have some black comedian, doing stand up and talking about how he would have shot the truck anyway. And like,
yeah,
like,
oh, he understands tone. He just doesn't like it when it tips too far to like the sad portion. It's either funny or action.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's weird.
So you can almost say Michael Bay has a perfect understanding of tone.
I don't think anyone would say that.
He just chooses not to go into territory.
All right. I've ripped this movie apart for a while now, Victor. Is there anything you did like about this movie?
I like the action. See, I don't know. Michael Bay does action very well. Mm-hmm. It's very entertaining to watch. Story's not really a strong point, but like I kind of like the characters. Like their interactions between one another. I don't like their characters as a whole. I wouldn't want to see like a long screen time with them, just them like being themselves. Does that make sense? I don't want to.
2-hour movie. You're like, I don't want to see any more of them than that.
Yeah, I like them in the situations that they're in. I don't like them out of those situations. If that makes sense.
Okay. I wrote in my notes, I do not care about any of these people or their crappy origin stories.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this movie was entertaining enough, and like I know you don't like it when people say that, but like, yeah, this is one of those movies that, like, I've worked all day. I don't really want to think. And like, yeah, you know what? There's things I definitely caught that was like, this is strange. People are teleporting, or like this just happened. This shouldn't be happening right now because of that. But like, there's so much action in this. It was just entertaining. So if I watched this on another day where I was like fresh, ready to go, and like actually coherent, probably would have hated this movie.
Yeah, I didn't like there's just some stupid things in there that are just like that whole scene where they're discussing their plan again. Mm-hmm. And then Ryan Reynolds is like, yeah, hold it, pause. Who's that guy? And then there's just some guy eating noodles beside them. And he's like, hey, maybe can we not discuss the plan in front of Raymond here? It's like, maybe just don't discuss the plan in a public restaurant. Like, what? And then so they're just like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then they leave and they go to their bunker. Why not just talk about it in the bunker?
Because they were craving ramen.
And then the thing that I find that really ticked me off was like just the thought of the plot of just like, Turkestan has all its problems. So we have to, like, it's just so American. Like, we have to go in, and be freedom, democracy, our way of life. Granted, they make the dictator like very evil, like he's bombing hospitals and stuff like that. But like, we have to get democracy in there, man. And I'm not saying that communism is great or whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's just so American of just like, we can solve it by explosions and killing the right people. And you know what I mean? Like, we'll start a revolution.
Also, that revolution started really quick.
Yeah, that was a really inspiring video. Did you see it?
Oh, it was
10
novel.
seconds of the guy talking and then that really bumping song.
I caught some of it. Brothers and sisters, it's time to step up against what my brother has done to us. Something. There wasn't much more after that. No. And then in the next shot, people are all around the streets with flags. Some guy has a sign that's like printed out. Not like he was drawn on a board. It was printed out. It was designed on a computer. A few scenes later, it's probably like, I don't know, probably half an hour of time has passed. There's fighter jets in the air. There's like marches in the streets.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm just imagining that guy with the printed sign. Like he's had it in his closet for years. And his wife is like, you need to get rid of that sign. They could come at any time and see that sign? And he's like, no, one day. And then he's just like, finally, it's the day.
My time has come.
I told you so, Marjorie. Don't you ever tell me my business about signs again.
He's got another closet just full of other signs for every situation. But like, so one's invention of magnets comes into play at the end on the shoot on the yacht.
I did like that. I liked the idea of the giant magnets.
I don't remember how you set that up, where like he turns the entire boat into a magnet.
There's 4 little, I'll call them U-boats. They're subs.
Oh, those
Those were magnets.
Those
and so
what they were.
Positioned 4 on each side, aft in.
Okay, I didn't know what those were. I was like,
what's the other port bow?
Port bow.
Port and aft.
Sure, let's go with that.
Sure. Yeah. So you set them all up, and so that was the thing.
Okay. See, I saw those, but I didn't actually figure out what those were.
That's what those were for. And then that the bad guy got his hands on the cell phone and he made them self-destruct. That's what made the boat sink.
Right. But the Inception sound came into effect with that.
Yeah, that's what magnets sound like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a cool idea, but like, if you pay attention, a lot of the main characters are wearing some metal stuff.
No, he makes a point saying he gives them all gear that says it's plastic. Kevlar doesn't exist, I don't think. But plastic guns, plastic magazines. So they were covered. They did set that up.
Wow, I turned my brain off way too far for this one.
Their fillings would have been ripped out of their teeth.
They don't have fillings.
What's that?
They don't have fillings.
I guess they don't really do metal fillings anymore, do they?
I have no idea. I'm talking out my ass here.
Okay. Because you don't have any silver fillings, do you? I don't have any.
No.
But when we were kids, they used to do silver fillings.
I never had fillings as a kid.
Oh, you took care of your teeth?
Probably not.
Anyway.
Yeah. So at the end of that yacht scene, the boat is sinking. One rescues 4 and some other people are scattered around the boat. The bad guy gets away on a little speed raft, gets picked up by a helicopter. Lo and behold,
it's the team.
It's the team. All 6 of them in the helicopter.
Yeah. They all made
somehow.
They all made it out.
And they're all wearing different gear, or at least they're wearing like outfits to kind of like fool the guy to get into the helicopter.
Yeah. And the brother is driving the helicopter.
Flying the helicopter.
Whatever. I did like that they used laughing gas.
That was different.
When they went into Hong Kong to like eliminate the lobby.
Yeah.
That was an interesting idea.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Four lost one of his respirator pucks. So he got a bit of it as well.
So laughing gas, that's nitrous, right?
No idea. Not even going to try and guess.
Okay. I just isn't too much of that. Can't that kill you?
Probably.
All right. So it's not a perfect plan.
I mean,
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like that's the whole thing with the dentist. Like they can't give you too much because you die.
No, it's because they don't want you to have a good time. They're cheap.
You get uncontrollable. They're just like, I'm trying to work in your mouth. Would you stop giggling?
Wait, doctor, I haven't given him any yet.
Just really ticklish.
Don't touch my teeth. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible people.
Oh boy. I'm trying to think if I did like anything. I did like those concepts.
Mm-hmm. Good ideas in this movie, just executed poorly. Is that what you're thinking?
No.
All right, just poor.
Just I liked the laughing gas. I liked the magnets.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, there was just weird stuff where something would happen that shouldn't have happened, but then they called attention to it. So it's like, that's okay. Like he shoves a flashbang in the guy's mouth.
Oh, and blows his head off.
And his head just blows clean off. And they're like, man, that was a flashbang. That's so crazy that happened. And it's like, but would it happen? I don't think it would blow off your face. Sorry. It would probably blow off your face, but it wouldn't blow your head clean off.
I have no idea how a flashbang works.
I don't think
maybe that's what he's relying on people to
because flashbangs
not know enough.
Because there's no shrapnel with flashbangs, right?
But it's still like an explosion.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, would your head blow off if you put a firecracker in your mouth?
I guess it depends on the
strength of it.
Yeah.
Because like that's the whole thing. Is it's not a strong explosive. It's just a bright and loud light.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just stuff like that where it's just like, just because you said, "Wow, that was crazy that worked," doesn't mean you can just put logic aside.
No, I agree.
Because plastic Kevlar, that's not a thing, right? If you get shot when you're wearing plastic, that bullet's going in you.
I feel like that makes sense. I feel like there's something
Maybe
about that.
Carbon fiber? Is carbon fiber magnetic?
No, it is not.
Can it stop a bullet though?
Probably.
All right. Well, yeah, this movie was dumb, Victor. I didn't like it. Thank you for choosing it.
You're welcome. I give it 1 thumb up.
1 thumb up and 1 thumb up the butt.
What? No.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I say if you have a couple of friends over, have a few drinks, you need a movie to watch, I'd slap this one on.
I wouldn't. Don't bother.
I'd say do it.
You'd be better off watching like Transformers 3.
What? No. Oh, God, no. I would watch those over Transformers. Any other Transformers.
It's just as funny as the other Transformers.
No,
Same
but, like,
amount of action.
No, but there's more things to talk about, and like it's more loony, I'd say. Anyways, should we wrap it up there?
I guess so.
Well, that has been our review for 6 Underground.
Don't bother.
If you've seen it, let us know what you think.
If
Maybe you did like it. Maybe there are people that like it.
I'm sure there are.
And if you want to get in touch with us directly, you can email us at averageuninformed@gmail.com.
Yep. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because it helps other people find the podcast, and that's good for everybody, probably.
Well, at least for us.
Yeah. Mostly us.
All right. Bye.
Bye.